Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. This is Hejin Lee with a morning update for Bitcoin. I got in extremely late last night, but I'm home, loving my big monitor instead of my tiny Dell laptop. So here we see the price action of the overnight. And I want to go over a couple of things. But before that, let's zoom out a little bit and take a look. Let's get rid of a lot of these past, historical, already done subwaves. Even that. Look how the price went to the line. Very nice. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3. We just finished 4 in the parentheses, Roman numeral 4. And that was an expanded flat, A, B, C. And last night I said we can probably, with confidence, call the bottom of this correction that C is in, and we will see close to 10,000 soon. Not too long from now. Okay? That is the projection I have. I have been asked, is this going to be the tippy top 50505? I don't think so. I think once we get here, we'll have to modify the count a little bit, update it. And I'm not going to get into that right now. I'd like to get closer to that before we do so. Otherwise, it might just cause more confusion than anything else. So now let's zoom back in. So these are pretty much the labels that I had left with last night. I made small modifications. So here we have A, B, C, that's complete. Wave 4 is in. And now we're going to be at wave 5. This 5. I forgot. Go back to the 4 hours, let's see. There you go. So let's look at the corrections here, prior corrections. We had a correction and it went way above it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 5 waves. We had an A, B, C correction. I believe this was a flat and it went way above it. Now we have another correction and I think this could be a lot more. That's the change that I guess I'll be making, just from a bigger perspective. Let's go back to the 15 minutes now. All right. So this is also what I wanted to. I can get rid of this target for now. So this is the bigger head and shoulders pattern that we had talked about last night. And we have wave 1, 2, and 3. And the subwaves of wave 3 are being put in. So we have 1, 2, 3 is almost done. Oops. Now, this line also, the neckline of the head and shoulders, represents resistance. And I think what's going to happen is it bounced off here, pierced it, and then bounced off. Now it's hitting it again. So I think we're going to get a bit of a correction. Smaller correction for wave 4, blue 4. And that could be A, B, C type like that. Okay. And then we're going to get 5. And that correction could go to, let's say, so go temporarily back to sub 7K at 69.50 or so. And then from here, oh gee, since time has elapsed, I'll have to stretch these out. From there, we'll get a subwaves of that 5th wave. To reach wave 3. Now wave 3 could go higher, I think. So let's say wave 3 hits 9,000. Because once it's breached this line of resistance, now it becomes a new support. There you go. That's what I would forward discern. So we have a left shoulder here. So much more easier to mark and maneuver the chart in a bigger monitor. Happy to be back in my home office for now. I'm not traveling for Thanksgiving. No freaking way. That is nutty to travel on Thanksgiving. I know some people have to, but if you don't have to, have them come to you. That's what I'm doing. So we have the left shoulder, head, and the right shoulder. And I think this is how we could see the play out for now. Okay. The my volume indicator is gone. I don't know why. Can't get it back. Hold on a second. Here it is. The only thing that bothers me, well, there are two things that would bother me to this pattern. Okay. One, the volume does not necessarily confirm. This spike here is too high for left shoulder. So we should ideally just see here. Well, let's take that back a little bit. If the shoulder is this, and this is the head, and the head begins here, that's okay. Do you see what I'm saying? If this is the left shoulder, and the start of the head pattern starts here, then this spike, the crazy day that we had, when the segue 2x was cancelled. We get the spike. So this is the start of the head. So we can include as part of the head actually. Like that. Funky looking. Not as symmetrical as you want on the volume side. Okay. I don't care. And then we'll see this. So actually no. Now that I've reassessed it, this volume, I can say, from a technical point of view, volume confirms this head and shoulders. So if the volume confirms, then we need to meet two conditions on this head and shoulders pattern. The condition of completion and the condition of confirmation. So let me tell you. Completion is when this right shoulder will complete. After the correction, we start turning up, and we're right underneath the neckline. Okay. Then the price pattern is complete, and the volume will be complete as well. Boom. Confirmation. So that's complete. Now confirmation is when price breaches the neckline decisively and probably bounces off of it. So from the head and shoulders, or really any pattern point of view, you have to look for completion and confirmation. Now traders, if you want, for those of you who are flexible, sitting in front of your monitor staring at it all day and actually enjoy it, you can potentially take some profits, buy back more and get a little bit more here and write it up. I don't do that. I don't have the time for that anymore. And it takes too much time to sit in front of your monitor all day, every day, staring at it. I'd rather go out and get some life. But those of you who enjoy it, but more importantly, are very good at it. Not everyone's good at doing that kind of nimble maneuvers. Okay? So let's see if price, we haven't gotten there. We did touch it right here. I think we might touch it one more time. Maybe midday or afternoon, I don't know. Early evening, we can start seeing a bounce off of it one more time. Now I drew it this low because I'm making it symmetrical to this. It doesn't have to. It could take any other shape that it wants. And let's see if the volume stays at the right shoulder volume. And maybe tomorrow, sometime, we can see a breach. Overnight, we can maybe see an uprise. Maybe it'll bounce off again. I don't know. Quite often it does. Look at this one. Hit it, bounced off it, hit it, bounced off it, hit it. Now, here's another thing to consider. Clearly, even before any of this price was put in, when it was here, it hit this line, price area, bounced off, hit it, bounced off, tried it again, breached it, got repelled. That was a bearish wick. And because it exhausted, flamed out basically, all the buying power that it had at that moment, sellers took over, bulls took it back, and now it's going to go back to this resistance, the neckline. So what I'm saying is that the resistance is not new resistance. Since it's been hit 2, 3 times, and now fourth time right here briefly, the resistance has been weakened. From a buyer-seller perspective, at this point there are enough sellers who sell, who are willing to take the profits and sell it and therefore repel the buyers. Now, sellers have been absorbed here, 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 and here. And just briefly right here too. 4 instances where the sellers have been absorbed by the buyers. So what that means is there are less sellers than buyers at this point of time in this resistance point than they were at this point of time at that same resistance point. So all of these patterns have a buyer-seller perspective. And that buyer-seller perspective just happens to output a pattern species called head and shoulders bottom. And of course, the buyer, seller, buyer, and then the sellers took over because the buyers just didn't have enough mojo. And it led to a skyrocket in volume, but it turned. And that turning point happened in an impulse, as I had described before, for wave 1 here, ABC2. It was very 3-waveish, I had said. But from the onset, this is where you really get the better perspective of Elliott waves. From the onset, you have A, B, and C expanded flat. As soon as I saw this B going above this in a flame out like that, I realized this could be a very strong candidate for an expanded flat correction. That's exactly what we got. So that buyer-seller perspective here means it'll probably there's still plenty of sellers here, a good number of sellers left, and that'll repel it so that it'll induce a correction. And it'll regain and remobilize the mojo of the buyers. And here it'll be 1, 2, it'll take wave 3 type to breach it. Wave 4 will bounce off of it to give a wave 5, or 3. This resistance is apparently quite formidable. There are a lot of sellers here. So it'll take a lot of buyers to breach this. And then to go even higher than that, it'll have to come back. Now there are buyers here. Once you breach it, the resistance now becomes support. Psychologically, the idiots and the innocents, usually, or those who shoot from the hips, hoping to hit a profit, or just go by gut feeling, those who sold here will see the price going up and thinking, oh my gosh, I missed that. And when they see the price coming down, they go, oh, I'm going to get back in. A lot of the sellers' remorse will come back in to help drive the 5th wave up to 10K. I'll put it down close to it for now. So that's one new thing that I like to give you a perspective on. Buyer-seller perspective on every price move and every pattern. So that's another thing I'm going to insert for now. And even for a impulse wave, you have buyer-seller perspective, tug of war between the buyers. So ask yourself always, how can I describe, or how can I picture the tug of war between the buyers and the sellers that are going on at this point? And I just explained it. And buyer-sellers, buyer-seller, that's all it is. A tug of war, Elliott wave is a tug of war between the buyers and sellers. I hope this has been helpful. And look, I'm getting good tips. Thank you. Monumental thanks. It really is an indication that my technical analysis, my calls, are helping people. My willingness to coach and provide instructive tutorials, they are also helping people. And that makes me really happy. So, again, with this video, I hope I have earned the right to ask to continue to upvote my blogs. I mean, believe me, it's not the money, it's the upvote. The $7, $8, $10 or whatever I mean, the profit that I'm making with the calls, not only here, but also in the equities, I'm not here for the money. I'm here to see if I can gain the status of 70 plus reputation score level, which means a lot more visibility, but also more upvotes will enable my blog posts to stand higher and taller so that many can see it. My objective is to help and do no harm, and to maximize my help to as many as possible means as much visibility as possible. So I would be grateful for that, for continued votes, upvotes, follows, and resteams. For all you new followers and new readers, at the end of each of my blog are links to all the tutorials that I've already put up, and I will be making another tutorial today for the triangle type of Elliott wave correction. Now that I'm back, have a little more time in my office. And as always, if you have questions or comments, please let me know. Have a good day.